Breaking news now as we're looking at a developing situation here in Houston. Reports of a stolen ambulance from Ben Taub Hospital. Police are chasing, and we are watching this live play out. I'm Jonathan Bruce alongside Erica Simon.
Yeah, as you can see, this is active. Oh, and that stolen ambulance looks like it just crashed underneath the bridge. It had some faulty tires, possibly that had blown out or been shot out, or we don't know what happened with them, but now it looks like that ambulance has come to a stop, Jonathan.
And a fast developing situation as we are seeing law enforcement officers exit their vehicles and move towards the ambulance that blew a tire moments ago and has just crashed out and spun off the right side of the road. This is Holmes Road right now. As we see officers, it looks like with their firearms drawn, pointed towards the ambulance. Again, this live developing here on our ABC 13 live stream.
And it looks like they hit a power pole. Don't know if that's going to impact anything or not, but we haven't seen anybody come out of that ambulance. They are not being forcibly taken out as of yet, but of course you can see law enforcement setting up that perimeter there, and they of course have the defensive stance with the weapons presumably drawn is what we're seeing here. And yeah, this is happening very quickly.
And just to give you some context and recap, as we went off the air at 6:30, so literally about 5 minutes ago, we got this report. Sky I-13 was able to locate the ambulance, and since that time, as we've watched from Sky I-13, we did see the ambulance swerving on the right side of the road, then eventually blow that tire and spin out to this situation we're here right now.
And you see a couple of law enforcement officers take off running. One looked like he was going behind the ambulance to take that defensive stance, and then a couple of them ran back to their vehicles, so don't know if they got an order
This police
command or what.
pursuit went all the way through the medical center from downtown. He crossed
to the next step, but we've got
near into the telephone pole, getting out of control. Police chasing that ambulance for about a while. At one point, cop cars chased that ambulance with rear faulty tires. Then it keeps going underneath the bridge. Then crossed into a power pole, lost control. Then, when NEP the news helicopters overhead due to that TFR restrictions, now underneath the bridge. Police officers have their weapons drawn. Now into a muddy dirt road. Now you would see this is going to be a standoff, not so much longer. Let's listen.
Going on for about 20 minutes or so. Went all the way through the medical center just south of downtown. Now it looks as though that the radiator has blown. I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at there. It looks as though that steam, so that'd be the radiator, has probably blown. I can tell you that the rear bumper of the ambulance was hanging off, and it looked as though that the rear tires of the ambulance, I'm going to pull out here because I don't know what's going to happen, but the rear tire of the ambulance was blown out as well. Now this ambulance does have quad tires on the back of it, 2 on each side, and the ones on the right hand side were blown out, so it kind of crab walked down the roadway. At times the speeds were at quite a speed. We were watching it on radar. We were watching HPD. We could not get there because there is a temporary flight restriction in that area inside the loop because of the baseball game tonight. And once they started heading south and out of the TFR, as we call it, then we caught up with them down here off of Alameda and Holmes Road. That's where all this is taking place. Obviously not a very heavily trafficked area, so that's not a problem. But I can tell you that police are surrounding the ambulance. I don't know whether the person that stole the ambulance is still inside. I'm a little bit hesitant to get too close because we just don't know what's going to happen with guns drawn here. So they're still running. We just don't know. We're gonna hold off on this. We're gonna stay back and just give you a wide shot of this because we just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, Don, you're absolutely right, because anytime you see a situation like this play out, as you know, as we all know here at the station, this could go either way. And the longer potentially that somebody either refuses to come out willingly or perhaps possibly brandishes a weapon, anything could happen. So that is smart to stay pulled out there. But Jonathan, there's a lot that's unfolded just in the last 5 minutes here.
Yeah, new information there from Don again that they were following this on radar and that the chase happened really for about 20 minutes now at this point and actually went through the medical center. And Don using discretion as he should, well warranted here as we carry this on live television on our live stream. Again, you count almost, it looks like 20 officers there. We saw shields. We did see guns drawn, and we have not been able to, as Don said, lay eyes on the ambulance, but it looks like now we do have a suspect in custody. Don, can you tell us what you're able to see now at this point?
Well, yeah, he's got it. He's handcuffed, obviously. They were gathering around the back of the ambulance there to make sure that somebody wasn't in the back of the ambulance. We understand this was stolen at an emergency entrance down there at one of the hospitals in the med center. Why, we don't know. But took police quite some time. Remember, ambulances are very heavy. It's very difficult to have a regular police car, say a Tahoe, try to do a pit maneuver on it. You just don't know what's going to happen. Plus, we don't know whether or not there's somebody in the back of an ambulance, a patient perhaps. So they're using a lot of caution here. They did not know it was going to happen. All the police officers got out of their cars, weapons drawn, and that's when we kind of pulled back here, not sure what was going to happen, but it appears as though that the suspect that stole the ambulance is now in custody, and I'm sure that they're going to do a thorough pat down of this man and try to figure out exactly what in the world he was thinking.
It looked like we saw the driver, we presume, of the stolen ambulance barefoot in sweatpants and a t-shirt. Just limited details we were able to glean. Don, let me ask you this. When we saw the ambulance blow the tire, do you have any indication that that was an HPD or law enforcement spike strip that was put out as a result of this pursuit?
No, it was not. He hit a curb, and he had the flat tire in that right rear. That's what hit the curb. As I mentioned, the ambulance was actually kind of crab walking down the roadway there. So once that back end hit that curb, it spun it out right underneath this overpass here at Alameda and Holmes on the city's south side.
Yeah, and Jonathan, you hit it on the head. The man obviously looks pretty disheveled here, and we don't know if that was the state he was in when he hopped behind the wheel allegedly, or if, you know, of course, he was shaken up with all of this. So we have a lot of things we're going to have to figure out and, of course, look into this evening. I'm sure all that will come to light. But at least at this time, it appears that at least one man has been taken into custody. Presumably, no one has been hurt.
The driver of that stolen ambulance hit a curb. Suspect inside that stolen ambulance went all the way to the medical center. The pursuit has been going on for about 20 minutes
right
or
now
so.
from
The
Sky
driver
13 live
stopped,
in the air
and he
over the
took
scene
off
when you see
long
those
time
deep
ago. Short
ruts
time
off
later,
of the side of the road, an ambulance
they've been in there. They stopped for the last 5 minutes. At one point, the news helicopters overhead that included activity of arm restrictions. Now, now it's still crossed, and the ambulance now disabled. Now coming out
again, a couple of interesting updates that we got from Don Armstrong that it was stolen at the emergency entrance
been taken
to
away by
Benton
police.
Hospital. And then we
What
saw about a
happens at the end
20-minute chase there
of the
that
video?
actually
Now,
went through the medical
the spike
center
strip was
and ended up
deployed
here.
moments
at
ago,
Alameda
but it
and Holmes.
wasn't.
So,
Weapons
Don, thank you so
strong,
much for staying on
patting
top of
this
this
man
for us. And we,
down.
of course, will bring you the latest
Now,
in our
suspect
9
has been
o'clock
taken to jail
show and, of
and
course, the 10
handcuffed.
o'clock newscast
Thanks for
after the
watching,
NBA
and
Finals.
good night.
Thank you to everybody who's tuned in.